On our featured page, Doors Mania Unlocked. A fire smoldering from emotional embers for more than 20 years is rekindled today. Director Oliver Stone's musical epic The Doors opens nationwide, and it's sure to pry open passionate memories of the legendary band. The Doors were led by the raw, screaming vocals of Jim Morrison. They closed the 60s and opened the 70s at the top of the charts. And today, even though Morrison is dead and the group is long since disbanded, they're hotter than ever. What's behind the remarkable resurgence of The Doors? On our feature page, we find the keys to the newfound fame of The Doors.
Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! Wake up!
You know the day destroys the night. Night divides the day. Try to run, try to hide. Break on through to the other side. Break on through.
They are the latest rock and roll sensation. They are The Doors, and they are not new. The Doors haven't released an album since 1971, and the group's charismatic lead singer, Jim Morrison, died nearly 21 years ago.
Can you still recall the time we cried? Break on through to the other side.
He was a phenomenon, the Doors were a phenomenon, and now the entire world wants to hear Doors music.
The catalog of their music sells in huge numbers. The other musicians live very well from the royalties of the albums that were made 20 years ago.
This is the end.
And it was the exposure the Doors music received in the movie Apocalypse Now that helped the group become a bigger hit today than it was during the 60s.
Year in and year out, the most popular posters in dorms and high schools and in colleges are James Dean, Marlon Brando, Elvis Presley, and Jim Morrison.
You know that it would be untrue.
The Doors poster is the #1 seller in the country, and printing presses continue to crank them out by the thousands. There are also Doors books, books and more books, Doors laser discs and videos, and now The Doors, the movie. It's Doors Mania.
I thought they were a good group. You know, they were a little bit off the beaten path, but they really delivered. We have 25 of their songs in the movie, so I like them a lot.
They said you can't be different in a rock band. I mean, they were at the beginning of the whole rock era.
The music is still as popular as it was 25 years ago.
The Doors' popularity is kept alive by countless numbers of enthusiastic fans like Robert Uncle. In fact, Uncle was captured on film in 1968 as he leaped on stage during a Doors concert.
I think it was just a matter of being carried away at the moment. I waited till the last moment and jumped up, ran up to Jim, got to him just as several of the police on stage got to me. But I had a brief moment of kind of staring into his eyes directly in front of him, and I suspect he had no idea I was there at all.
Psychedelic rock nearly died in the 70s and 80s, but it was FM radio stations and a format known as classic rock that kept the music of the 60s, Jim Morrison and the Doors, alive and well.
I think we have been very instrumental in bringing the Doors to the forefront once again. And it's a two-way street. We started adding some tunes by the Doors. The audience came back to us and said, more Doors. We responded, more Doors.
Music historian Michael Oakes says the Doors came to rock and roll with a package that was nearly time-proof. They were good musicians, wrote their own music, and Jim Morrison exuded tons of sex appeal.
They had almost a teen idol lead singer named Jim Morrison who had all the looks of your average teen star and yet had dangerous lyrics and became, I guess, actually the sex symbol of the 60s.
The Doors wrote music to Morrison's lyrics and sold millions of records. Doors member John Densmore says Morrison's lyrics were spiced with sexual innuendo and the mysticism that helped catapult the Doors to rock stardom.
Can you picture what will be so limitless and free?
When I first met Jim, he hadn't sung before. This guy's pretty shy. I don't know whether he can do it. But when I saw those words, I thought, boy, it'd be really unique to write music to these words.
Riders on the storm.
Unfortunately for Morrison and the Doors, their music didn't sit well with some local police departments. Jim Morrison was arrested on stage during a concert. He got busted after a performance in Miami for allegedly exposing himself to the audience.
He was drunk. You know, he was drinking all the time now, so he did not expose himself. He sort of pretended that he was going to.
Jim Morrison was never the same after that incident. Later, he moved to Paris, and on July 3rd, 1971, he was found dead in his apartment. And now, nearly 20 years later, the Hollywood version of The Doors may play to a bigger audience than The Doors ever dreamed possible.
Oliver's making a movie about the myth of Jim Morrison, because he never met him. But he's got a good handle on that dark, creative spirit that Jim had, because he has it.
At the end of the Doors movie, there is a tribute to John Densmore. Much of the movie was based on John's recently released book, Riders on the Storm.